Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna get this intake off of there so I can get down to the spark plugs a little bit easier. Now, one thing I will recommend on these, or any older German car, is get them nice and warmed up before you start working on them, because everything will come apart a lot easier. Now, there's a bracket on the back side of the engine, and also another pipe right there. So we have another Allen, and then there's a small band clamp right there. So, all right. So on the back side of the engine, there's a small 6mm bolt you'll have to get to. Alright, break that loose, run it out. Now this is customer supplied parts, so they didn't get everything. So we're going to do what we can with what we have. So now, what I want to do is just loosen the intake up and kind of fold it up over, because I don't want to take the throttle body loose. So we need to get a long Allen to get to these. Now I believe, yep, those are 5s. All right, so now there is a very small little access there. I'm gonna have to probably grind this down so I can get in there, because yeah, it's very tight. I don't know if I'll be able to get those. No. Yeah, so you're gonna need a very thin Allen to get in there, or have to modify one that you have. So that kind of sucks. All right. To the grinding wheel. So as you can see, just took the grinder wheel and ground that down. So now I'll put it down there. Yeah. All right. There's one. And there's the second one. There we go. Now the intake should. Alright, so we have another bolt somewhere holding it. Oh, right there. So they are 2 6mm bolts holding the back of the intake. There we go. All right. And there's that. So now we can just take this guy and we're just going to take a block of wood, prop it up. That way you now get to the spark plugs a lot easier. So there we go. Now also, we're going to be replacing the coil pack and the wires with this as well. So what I like to do is go ahead and mark everything so you know where the wires go. And on almost all engines from front to back, it's going to be 1 through 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Basically just going to be shortest to longest wires. Now, What I do recommend is a pair of these. They are spark plug wire pullers. Pretty nice to help you get these guys out of there. There we go. One. Two. Another good idea is to go ahead, mark them down in the coil pack as well. And that way, when you're doing it, you can put the wires back on, nothing to it. So. Go ahead and get this vacuum pump out of the way. All right, and maybe if I get you guys over here, give you a little bit of a better view of what's really going on. There we go, so. Gotta get the vacuum pump out of the way. Again, getting all this stuff warm is gonna help keep these plastic tubes from breaking. Gotta be really careful with all this stuff, because this car is now over 20 years old. So, it's going to be brittle. There we go. Now, you can slide this guy out of there. Get our vacuum pump out of the way. All right, that gets us down to our wires. So now we've marked them there. Let's go ahead and mark our, actually, we don't even need to do that. We can just pull the coil out and leave the wires on it, hopefully. All right, release the connector. I believe there are 2 bolts that hold this guy in. 3 bolts that hold it in. All right, and again, get our long extension. Our long Allen here. There's 1, 2, and make sure you get your Allens bottomed all the way out so these don't strip. All right. One Allen, 2, and 3. So get the rest of your spark plugs, wires out of there. And then make sure you pay attention to the wire routing. So try not to break these little plastic clips. There we go. All right. And the last one, right there. There we go. Now you can pull the coil pack out with all the wires attached. There we go. Easy enough. enough. Now, something I do like to recommend doing is before you take your spark plugs out, get a little bit of air, blow around the spark plugs themselves. That's going to get any dirt out from around them. It won't go down the cylinders. There we go. And good rule of thumb would also be to go ahead and get a little something over the intake when you're doing this too. All right, there we go. So now, got our new spark plugs here, and that is a oh yeah, 5/8. So go ahead. Now, only use an impact gun when taking spark plugs out. Don't use them to put them back in. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. That is terrible. And if you guys have any questions about cars, feel free to go ahead and ask. So, you run them back in, but you want to go very slow. And then, there we go. Tighten my hand. All right. There we go. Trying to keep this on a bit of an angle, a little difficult. All right, so we're gonna go get a socket that doesn't have a swivel. There we go. Yeah, these are a bit of a challenge to get down in there. I haven't done one of these since I was probably, there we go. Probably haven't replaced a set of these since I was 19. Probably been 10 years. This was also my first car that I had. I had a manual 2.0. I had 165,000 miles when I got rid of it, and still had no check engine light. You want to go down so you can feel. There's a little crush washer on the bottom of your spark plug. You want to feel that. All right. See this right here is your crush washer, right there. Go. Ooh, yeah, these spark plugs are looking a little rough. Alright, that one doesn't want to start. So, swivel seems to work a lot better to get these started. There we go. Alright, spark plugs are in. Now we go get the new coil pack and put it in there. right, so we have our new coil pack. We have our new wires. So basically we're gonna go longest to shortest on these. That's the shortest. So just like that. And that's gonna be 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, to help these go in a little bit easier, I do recommend using a little bit of dielectric grease. So, let's get that. All right, let's take a little bit of dielectric grease, and with these, you probably have to put it on your finger, get it down in there. All right, same on this side. A little bit dielectric grease on all your wires. There we go. All right, so now 4, 3, 2, 1. So they go 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna do shortest. And here, actually, to make this easier to install, we'll leave the wires off for right now because those bolts come up through them. So go ahead, reinstall your coil pack down there. Careful with all your very brittle plastic hoses here. Get a bolt in there to help locate it. And for some reason, well, something doesn't feel right on this cord pack. Of course. Oh, there we go. All right. go back and hand tighten all this. Very good. Plug it in. Good. So now we got 4. 3. 4, 3. 2. 'And lastly, cylinder 1. All right, we'll run this guy all the way across the top, just like that. Now, you do have these little guys right here. So you got the first one, it's coming right off the coil pack. This helps keep your wires from getting crossed up. So we're going to take this guy and put it right here. Just like that. Looks a lot better. And then up here, well, since these wires, well, they're not very long, this makes things more difficult. Yeah, they're like the perfect size. So, probably going to take the other one here. This. Which I don't like actually, because they're crossing over each other. So you're not supposed to have your spark plug wires cross over each other a bunch. But since, well, can't really do that, I guess we'll put it like that. There we go. These insulators ought to, oh, so looks good, works good, that's what matters. So now, as for our gasket surface, customer didn't get a new gasket, so we're gonna wipe it up a little bit and put a little anaerobic sealant on there. So, get a little brake clean. Wipe off. Intake really good. And we're just going to do a very thin coat of anaerobic sealant to ensure this isn't going to leak. So, pull our block back out, go ahead and get it close to ready. All right. Stuff's a very thin sealer, works really good. It is expensive. This stuff's like 20 bucks for a small tube, but it works really well. So, go ahead, set your intake back up to where it's supposed to be. I am going to go ahead, run 2 bolts in the front. And then go ahead and start the bolts in the back for those brackets. Go ahead and get them started. That way everything doesn't get all bound up in a little bit. Alright, that's still good. Make sure we got nothing holding us up back there. There we go. Got one of them started. There's the other one. All right. So get those run in there pretty good. All right, those bolts back in there. Now, show you guys a little trick. All right, obviously, we're gonna get those bolts down through there. Now, if you have a bolt that you don't want to lose, get a little bit of this. All right, guys, anyway, you need a little bit of butyl tape, put it on there. I'm gonna wrap this video up. Take a little bit of butyl tape. You can put it on the inside of your Allen and then stick your Allen in there. And now, the bolt won't fall off when you're trying to put it into a bolt hole. All right, guys. Basically, put everything else back together and your spark plug job is done. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you like this stuff, and stay tuned for more live streams.